So in the second part of the Nessus vulnerability scan, we're going to see what we can do with the scan results. So I've scanned my network. I found that I have a machine that is currently holding 5 severe, 1 critical, and a number of mediums. So what I want to do is I want to focus on those 5 criticals. Now normally in a pen testing situation, we don't go after everything. We identify the severes and the criticals. We put them in a list. We submit them to the CIO or whoever on the network can authorize us to go after those vulnerabilities. And then they pick the vulnerabilities they want us to go after. We go after those, and if we can confirm it, we put it in the report, and that's our justification. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and export this, the results. We're going to create a PDF. Now I've already done this, so I'm going to go and I'm going to show you where the PDF is stored. So I'm going to go ahead and minimize this real quick. Go to my files, then I'm going to go to my downloads, and there's the report. I'll open this up, and it's kind of a nice executive summary. Some people wouldn't accept this to be as professional as it needs to be, but it's okay. It actually gives you a lot of information. Now, what we want here are the severe. We want the severe or the criticals so that we can look these up under Metasploit doing a search, and that's going to help us confirm our findings, and that's what we're going to do next. So for this demonstration, I'm going to use a well-known Microsoft security alert, which is the MS08-067. We kind of work on this in some other labs, but it's well known and I know that it's going to work. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this. What I'm going to do now is go ahead and close this out. I'm going to bring up a command prompt, and we're going to launch Metasploit. So at the prompt, I'm just going to type MSF console, and then I'm going to hit enter, and that begins the process of launching Metasploit. Metasploit is our go-to tool for all of our hacking and the exploitation of machines on our network. There are other machines or other tools that we can use, but we're mostly concerned with the MS console or Metasploit. This is the tool that's going to allow us to get the most bang for the buck. As always, before you conduct any pen test or you get out on the road and you start doing security auditing, make sure that your Kali and Metasploit and all your tools are always up to date. So once we have our scan results from Nessus, we want to take those and we want to look for Microsoft security bulletins up inside of Metasploit. These exploits are going to be using the same Microsoft security bulletin numbers with their title, and that's how we're going to find them up inside of Metasploit. So now I'm just going to go ahead and hit enter, and it's going to search the cache, and we'll see what it comes up with in just a moment. So your scan results can be for Server 2012, they can be for 2016, they can be for 2003, 2008, they can be for Linux. Now, regardless of what the scan results are for, if it comes with enough information about a Microsoft security bulletin, you can update your Metasploit, and then you can search to see if that Microsoft security bulletin has an exploit up inside of Metasploit available. Now we see that I was able to search the Microsoft security bulletin 08-067, and I came up with one. Now if I would like some information about this particular exploit, I can now type in the word info followed by the entire path of the exploit, and I'll get all the information I need. Let's go ahead and try that. So I typed in info followed by the name of the actual exploit, and I'm going to go ahead and hit enter, and there it gives me some more information about the exploit that I can use in my report. So all this fun stuff that I'm seeing here is just stuff that I can add to my report. It gives me more ammo, you see. So it tells me all the targets that it's capable of exploiting. It gives me information about when it was founded, who the developer was, and the ranking. The ranking is very important. The ranking, it tells you whether or not the exploit works good, it works fine, it works great. You want great, okay? So we know that if this exploit has a great ranking, that we're going to have some success with it. And you can see that it goes all the way up to Server 2003, Windows 2000, besides XP. And so we can continue to exploit other machines with it, not just Windows XP. And it tells you the basic options. So we got to set the R host, which is the remote host, the remote machine. The port is already set for us. That is for SMB, which is port 445. And we also got to select the local host, okay? And we got to then select the payload. All right, we're going to do all that in just a moment. So you're going down your list of exploits, and now you want to see if you can actually get into the machine and compromise it or take it over using this wonderful exploit up inside of Metasploit. Well, that's fine. We're going to type in use, and now I'm going to right click and I'm going to paste the name again inside of the command prompt, and I'm going to hit enter. Notice that my prompt changes to show that I'm now using the exploit. Well, I want to know what the options are. If I want to look at the options again, I can use the show command. So I just type in show, I type in options, and I hit enter. And there they are. There's the remote host, there is the port, and that's just about all the information it's going to give us. But that's enough. Okay. So once we've done the show options, then we're going to do something else called show payloads, because we have to pick a payload for the exploit to deliver. In this case, we want to use the MetaPredator reverse shell. So we're going to scroll on down until we find the MetaPredator reverse shell payload. The payload we're going to use for this particular exploit is going to be the Windows MetaPredator reverse TCP payload. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight that. I want to go ahead and copy that because I'm going to paste that into the payload command. So I'm going to go back up here to my prompt, and you see we got the payloads. Let me go back down here to my prompt. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and set the remote host, and I'm going to use the set command. So we know we got some options to configure. The first one is the remote machine, so I'm going to go ahead and type in set, and I'm going to type in our host. Now I'm also going to give it the IP address of this remote host, so I'm going to type in 192.168.145.135. Now I'm going to go ahead and hit enter, and the remote host is now set. Now I need to set for the local host. This is the IP address of my Kali machine. So as I've done with every pen test and with every exploit and with every lab, I always confirm my network connectivity. And I know that my IP address for my local host is .132. So I'm going to type in set localhost, that is lhost, and now I'm going to follow that up with 192.168.145.132. That is the IP address of my Kali machine. The 135 is the target that I want to exploit. I'll go ahead and hit enter. Now I'm going to use the set payload command, and I'm going to type in or copy and paste the payload I want to use. Now once I've done that, I just go ahead and hit enter. Now all we got to do is type in exploit, and if everybody is where they need to be on the network, that is to say my target, and everything is configured correctly, we will get a MetaPredator prompt when this is over with. So I'm going to type in exploit, and I'm going to hit enter, and it starts up, and we'll see what happens here with this particular exploit. And it succeeded successfully. So now I am actually on the remote machine, and I can see this by just typing in shell to get a command prompt. Now that is the command prompt of Windows XP, and that is not a Kali prompt, okay? and I can actually go in and I can use whatever commands I want at this point and exploit and take over this Windows XP machine. But what I've done here is I have done a proof of concept that yes, the machine actually is vulnerable for MS-08-067 Microsoft Bulletin. That's what we've done. And so what I would do is I would copy, or I would actually take a screenshot of this, and I would copy and paste this into my report so that the client would actually see that, yes, I do have a problem with a critical vulnerability up here on that Windows XP machine. And of course, if you go back into the results, you can click on that particular vulnerability and you can get a solution on how to fix it. This is also part of what we do for the client when we do a pen test, or we're the network administrator, or we're the office manager, or whatever it is we are. If we click on the bulletin, it'll probably take us out and give us the link for the Microsoft download patch, or it'll tell us how to get to it. Okay, and that's what we need. And there are the patches right here. All right, so we can get down and we can download the update, the critical update that we need to fix that vulnerability. All right, so that's all the time I got for this short video presentation. But now you should know that if you do a Nessus scan, you can fire up Metasploit and you can search for those vulnerabilities. I only searched for one, but you're free to search for as many of those vulnerabilities that you want to find up inside of Metasploit, and that's how we do it.